Welcome to all of you online. Thank you so much for being here. We really welcome your presence. We welcome your comments. We welcome when we get to the interactive part for you to type something in the comments, and our audiovisual folks will relay that back into the room. And for all of you who are here in person, thank you for being here. I hope to get a hug. Thank you so much. Good to see everyone. Let's start with prayer. There's Reverend Mary coming in. Let's turn within for prayer for a moment. Let us know this morning that right now, right here and right now, God is all there is. Right here and right now, we know that there is one power, one presence, no separation. Nothing is separate. Everything is connected to everything. Everything is divine. The divine is present at every place of existence. As every place of existence, it is all sacred, it is all divine, and we are all divine. We are each divine expressions of that one life, regardless of any appearances to the contrary, any judgments that our mind might conjure up. We are here to remember today, to get out of separation, to get out of some sense that there is something other than this presence of the divine, and to remember who we are. That we are divine expressions of the one, and our whole life and being is unfolding from that place of divinity. And so this morning, from that place, I speak my word and bless this service, knowing it is so perfect, knowing that our speaker, Reverend Mary Morgan, is just so inspired, so uplifted, so much of a beautiful, wonderful vehicle and vessel through which Spirit brings some beautiful insights, a beautiful message for us this morning. I know this to be the truth of everyone else who is participating as well, that each one, as Reverend Mary is giving her talk, that Spirit is speaking to each one of us through her as well as through our own inner being. And so we are also being uplifted. We are also being expanded. And so I just bless this proceeding, knowing it is just so beautiful, so wonderful, and we are delighted in what it is that we experienced this morning. In gratitude, I release this word, I let it be, and we establish it together with the words, and so it is. Yes, I'm Reverend Gregory Toole, and happy to do the prayer and share some announcements this morning. So, as always, we have quite a bit going on here at the center. We have our tradition, Easter is this Sunday, and we have our tradition of Easter lilies. And I just saw, as I pulled up this morning, there was a big truck in the way of my reserved parking space. And I'm like, who is blocking my space? But they get special dispensation because they were bringing the Easter lilies, And so there's all these Easter lilies sitting out there right now that are going to be decorating our sanctuary on Sunday. Okay, as I say, if it's for me, I'm busy right now. So I've got a phone call coming in. So you can donate a lily in honor or memory of someone special. And we have a board out there where we'll put a little card that says who you're dedicating it to. And it's just a beautiful way for us to celebrate Easter and to decorate our sanctuary. It's going to be so beautiful with all these Easter lilies up here on this Sunday. We warmly invite you to our Easter service on Sunday. It's going to be so special. Our choir will be singing. I'll be speaking. We'll be having a little bit of an Easter message along with, it'll be great. It'll be really good. Let's see. We're going to have a testimonial as well this Sunday, a little surprise testimonial from someone who really wants to testify about how powerful this teaching is in their life. Wednesday, April 23rd is our next vegan potluck at 6 p.m. Be there or be square. It's going to be wonderful. We break bread together. Even if you're not vegan, you can kind of try that out for a day. Bring a vegan dish with you. And if you don't know how to make a vegan dish, you can always go to Whole Foods or one of the vegan restaurants in town and bring a dish from over there. On May 4th, we have a really special workshop coming up on May 4th. There's a man named Tim Ringgold who has really invested himself in healing grief through music. And he's going to bring all these instruments with him. So it's going to be very interactive. It's not going to be like he's just playing music and you're sitting out there. He's going to bring all these instruments with him, and you're going to be using music yourself to really use that as a modality for healing grief, releasing grief, and all the stress that comes with it. So May 4th, that will be happening after the service on Sunday. Our drumming circle is back. May Ruth was off for a little while. She broke a bone in her leg, but she's back. The drumming circle is back. The next one will be Sunday, April 27th at 12:30 after service. And our next, how many of you went to our Arts and Crafts Expo on the parking lot a couple weeks ago? A few of you went to that. I went to that. It was amazing. They even had live music out there and all kinds of arts and crafts from local artists and craftspeople. So the next one is happening Saturday, May 3rd, again on our parking lot. So it'll be a Saturday this time, all day, May 3rd. Our men's spirit group that meets once a month will be meeting on Monday, May 5th at 7 p.m. So all of you men, or if you have men in your life, it's a great way to come together with other men. I absolutely love it. I attend almost every month, whenever I can be there, and it's a great way for men to come together and be real and be authentic and be validated in the experiences that we're having as men. Mark Ruth, our board president, as well as a practitioner here, is doing a workshop on Saturday, May 10th at 10 a.m. called Stop, Look, and Listen. And the focus of the workshop really is on listening skills. And some really juicy things he's put together. So I really encourage you to attend that workshop with Mark. A good thing you can do to support our outside community is bring a canned food on Sundays. Just grab a can from your cupboard, bring it in. There's a table out there. You can put it there, and that goes to people who are having challenges with food in the greater community. For a full list of activities, see the weekly e-newsletter, Spirit Speaks magazine, and the activity table. And visit our bookstore for a hand-picked selection of books and gifts to enrich your spiritual journey. Joe and Lisa do an amazing job with the bookstore. There's always new things coming in, so go check it out. It's open today, even after you come out of service. Big thank you to all of our wonderful volunteers. So many people serve this center in beautiful ways. We appreciate all of you so much. Taking a breath. I welcome up our amazing speaker, always dynamic, always clear in Science of Mind principle. Let's give a warm welcome to Reverend Mary Morgan.
Thank you. Oh, it is on. All right. Thank you, Reverend Gregory. Good morning, everybody. I'm going to move this little guy over here. How's everybody doing today? Wonderful. Wait, I didn't quite hear that. How's everybody doing today? Great. Sensational. Yes. So today, my talk is called Divine by Design. And I've been reading this book. It's an old book from a long time ago. The author is Ralph Waldo Trine, and it's called In Tune with the Infinite. I love checking into those older books because I feel like they were the grassroots of our teaching. And I want to share this quote with you. There is a divine sequence running through the universe. Within and above and below, the human will incessantly works with the divine will. To come into harmony with it and thereby with all the higher laws and forces of the universe, to come into league and work in conjunction with them so they can come into league and work in conjunction with us, and bring us into the chain of the wonderful sequence of creation. That is the secret of all success. Okay, now we can go home because that was the mess. No, I'm kidding. So think about this for a second. In Science of Mind, in religious science, we're taught and believe, and it's our foundation, that there is a divine mind that's at the heart and soul of everything. It is the absolute force that is in everything that we believe and everything that we know. And I don't know about you, but sometimes I forget that. Sometimes I forget to initiate that God power and think I have to do everything by myself. Did you ever feel like that? That you have to do it all? But they always give this beautiful analogy, which is so simple, and they say, if you take a drop from the ocean, that drop has every element and aspect of the ocean that the big ocean has. Now, we're not saying that drop is the absolute ocean, but it has all of the elements of the ocean. And that's the same with you and I. With you and I, we are born of spirit, and we are made of spirit. So spirit, through, by means of us, is acting as us. So it goes to figure that if we know that God is limitless, we know that spirit is all there is and moving through us, creating everything that it is that we truly desire, then if there's any limitation that's going on in our life, doesn't it figure that the only thing that puts the limitation on would be us? Doesn't that make sense? It seems so elementary, but it is true, isn't it? That if God says, I love you beyond measure, and anything that you desire, you can create in your experience, then who puts the stopgap on it? Who puts the stop on it? This morning, when I turned on my computer, I read this amazing story. You probably hear about it on the news. I don't really listen to the news a lot, so I saw it on AOL. And it talked about a little 2-year-old boy that had been lost for over 2 days. And he got lost in the wilderness of Arizona. And there was a rancher 7 miles away that was driving in his truck down a dirt road going into town. And he looked over and he sees his dog. It was a Great Pyrenees dog. That is it's a protector dog. He ran a ranch with livestock on it, and the dog runs off the coyotes so that they don't attack his livestock. So he looks over and he sees the dog walking with a little 2-year-old boy, and he realizes in the news, oh my goodness, there was a boy that was advertised as missing. I bet that's him. So he stops, and he realizes that that boy had wandered 7 miles from his home. And he said, this is a tough terrain. It's got rocks, it's got trees, it's got mountain lions, it's got stuff going on. And he said that little boy was in a little tank top and his little pajama bottoms, and that was it. And it got really cold at night. So he asked him, he said he was fine, he was healthy, but he was upset. He was very upset. And they didn't explain what that translated out to, but I can imagine, you or I would be screaming our heads off maybe. But so they said he was upset, and he said, did you sleep? And he said, yes, I slept in a tree. So he must have slept at the base of the tree. Well, the dog's name is Buford, by the way. I just thought that was so cute. The dog found him, and he said, I knew. He goes, when my dog found that child, he goes, he would never have left that child. So he walked that child, he traced it back, and he said the dog was with him over a mile. So the dog had found him and then walked him back, and he said he was walking him back to my house. Think of the miracle of that. Just think of the miracle of that, and a little 2-year-old who doesn't have a real mastery of the English language yet. And you think of things that are impossible. And you say, I always love this breakdown. Remember, the word impossible is broken down till I'm possible. Always do that. I'm possible. Because the moment that we say all good comes out of this and we set our intention and get in that energy field of that, things begin to shift. But sometimes we think we have to do it our own way, and we're going to do this, that, and the other thing. And guess what? If we listen to that voice of God within us, that intuitive voice that guides us and directs us, right? It will take us to the right spot at the right time. And that's really essential. A lot of times the big prayer is, divine right timing, but we don't believe it. It's like, divine right timing, all right, hurry up, come on. But guess what? Sometimes one thing has to happen for another thing to happen for another thing to happen, and that's the divine right timing. So if things aren't showing up in your life, you go back and you ask yourself, have I put any limits on that which it is that I'd like to call into my life? And if I've done that, knock it off. Knock it off. Just say, where have I put the limit on? And then also just say, am I open and receptive to receiving? Because sometimes we say we want something, but we don't feel worthy to receive it. We want it for our neighbor. We could most certainly say, oh, girlfriend, you take that, man. God bless you, winning the $1 million or whatever it is. But we don't own it for ourselves. So it's a matter of, what is it that I feel deserving? Am I allowing? And am I surrendering? Am I letting go and I'm letting God? Am I letting that divine right action actually happen in my experience? Each of us must discover the divinity of our own. We can be taught the intellectual concepts about God, but each of us has to know God in here. It's not the stuff. It's not the books. It's not the things, right? You can say a perfect prayer treatment, but if you don't take it into your heart, it's not going to happen. And it doesn't matter about the words. Honestly, it doesn't even matter about the steps, does it? Does it? No, because what happens is you get yourself in the energy to know that truth. I had some really good news from a friend this morning. She had been diagnosed, oh my goodness, probably about 10 years ago with COPD. And the doctor, they always, had this kind of unhappy ending and saying all this stuff. And so she had asked her doctor, what is it I can do? And he said, well, just do aerobics and start doing this. Well, let me tell you, she's into aerobics, she does Tai Chi, she does community stuff, she helps people, she does all this stuff. She got really active in stuff. She heard from her pulmonologist yesterday, no sign of any heart trauma and no evidence of COPD. None. Gone. Gone. That's a big woohoo. Now guess what? She doesn't know about prayer treatment. She doesn't practice this teaching like we practice here. But guess what? She knows about it in here. I know people that don't know about this teaching, but they create the life that they desire. Why is it? Because they're in touch with the spirit within. And isn't that the very essence of this teaching? God is, and God and I are one. And I'm knowing that. And I'm knowing that whatever energy I'm putting into things, it is fortified by that spirit, by that God spirit. When we come into the conscious awareness and understanding of our one life with the infinite, we open ourselves up to that divine inflow, and it creates for us whatever it is that we are wanting to create in our life. There's a story I read in the Ralph Waldo Trine book, and he talks about a friend that had a beautiful property. And on the property, it had a little reservoir. And there was a stream that came down and filled the reservoir. And so the stream, it had a gate because to control the amount of water that went into the reservoir. And he built the gate and built the whole thing and had it all constructed because he wanted to create this beautiful haven for people. So he planted a bunch of flowers and trees and stuff like that. And what did he create? He created a lotus pond. And so every year it just kept growing and growing and growing, and there were flora and fauna and berries and bees and birdies and everything. And he said, you know what, why not open this up to the public? So he put a sign on the little path that went up to his house and said, all are welcome to the lotus pond. And so he said, little by little, families would come and have picnics. Kids would be running around. He had little benches around the reservoir, and he said, I would go and meditate, and it was just absolutely beautiful. It was just heaven on earth. And then he got called away to a job, and he knew he was going to be gone for a year. So he rented the place out to a friend of his and said, you know what, I'm giving this over to you, and I want you to keep this property, in good shape. I've worked really hard. Friend, absolutely, I will. Well, the longer the friend was there, he was like, I want my privacy. I'm going to take that sign off the trail, all are welcome to the lotus. I don't want them all here. I want quiet. I got to do some stuff. So he takes the sign off, and then he thought, I don't like the sound of all that water coming from the stream, so you know what? I'm going to close that gate permanently that lets the water in. I'm just going to let it be. We got enough water. I don't need it. So what happened is, little by little throughout that year, the reservoir started to dry up and get stuff going on, and the flowers dried back. People didn't come any longer, and it completely had transformed from this beautiful heavenly spot into this yuck place that he never let it. So the friend came back and was like, oh my goodness, you've run this place into the ground. Now think about that for a second. As a metaphor for us, a lot of times we've got this inflow, but it requires a constant reflowing, doesn't it? It requires a constant upping of, it's not like, I know about God, that's okay, I'm done. No, it's every day renewing, letting that stuff come into your life and letting it be open, letting yourself be open and receptive. I'm going to use this as an example because I was so excited. My freezer was on the blink, and it's a freezer that is, what do you call it? It self-defrosts. Well, the self-defrosting was not working, and I started to open it one day, and I thought, oh my gosh, there's like a ton of ice in here. What am I going to do? And I thought, oh, I don't want to have to call a guy. I've got to be here and da-da-da-da. So I thought, I'm going to investigate it myself. So I'm looking, and I look at the side, and I go, oh, I know what it is. It's the seal on the freezer. The seal on the freezer is broken. That's what it is. So I start researching the seal on the freezer and blah, 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 blah. And I call this company, and I'm talking to them, and I'm ready to order. And I said, something in my gut tells me, hold off ordering that seal. So I go, okay, what? Could there be any other problem? Could there be any other thing? And so, of course, even though I've practiced this for over 30 years, I said, Mary, sit down and get quiet and shut up. Right? Isn't that the important step? Shut up. I think that's somewhere in the prayer list, isn't it? Shut up. But it's, just go. So I called my friend that had been my engineer at a building I had worked at for a long time, and I said, so Jack, I was thinking about this, that, and the other thing, and I think it's the seal, and I pretty much got it figured out, but I just kind of wanted you to run it over in your mind. And he goes, you know what? It could be the evacuation tube. I'm like, oh, geez, the evacuation tube? So I'm like, oh. And I'm like, wait a minute. So I do my little homework, I do my Google search, and I get these videos, and I start watching about how to fix the evacuation tube. And I thought, I can do that. So I call Jack back, and I say, hey, I think I can do this. Da-da-da. What do you think I need? He goes, oh, you need a nut driver. I'm like, a nut driver? I don't know what a nut driver is. So I go, what does it look like? Give me an idea. He goes, just go to the hardware store, ask the guy for a 1/4-inch nut driver. So I go to, one's out, this one's out. I go to I get there, I get the nut driver. And I look at this guy and I go, do you think this nut driver will work on a refrigerator? He goes, lady, I don't know. And I'm like, okay. So I get it all, I figure out, I'm watching the YouTube, and I figure it all out. And I fixed it. I took the nozzle off, I cleared the tube out, I had pushed the refrigerator back from the thing, I got all the stuff off, and I got it all back together, and I'm like, it works. And my friend Jack's like, well, of course it did, because you fixed the evacuation. I'm like, well, go fish, right? I mean, but think about that in our life for a second. When stuff works out, don't you sometimes go, oh my gosh, it worked. This is amazing. And then you want to tell everybody, and you go, now, I've also heard when things work out, this sounds kind of crazy to me at first, but think about it for a second. When things work out, it's important. Don't get overly excited. Think about it. Why wouldn't you get overly excited? Because it's the absolute necessary conclusion to what you've put out in mind. If you act shocked and surprised, it means you weren't expecting it. So when we do our prayer, when we link ourselves up in the mind to know that we're attached to creative forces, it's already in play, right? Everything that's created began with a thought. It all began with a thought. So you want to take it back to the seed thought and say, what was I thinking? So I know when I went in to deal with the refrigerator, I said, I know I'm going to fix this. I know I'm going to do it. Now, how I moved the refrigerator and did all this stuff, I have no idea, because that refrigerator was really heavy. But guess what? I just said, you know what? All the forces of God and the universe are supporting me in repairing this thing, and I know it's going to happen correctly. Now, the moment you align yourself with that, What happens? Anything that comes that has to do with limitation is out of the picture because you already know the answer. And the moment that we already know the answer comes into our experience. Not because we ourselves created it, because that eternal God force that supports us supported us in that direction rather than in going south and things not working out. Does that make sense? I guess so. I see some shaking heads. Yes, it does. So back to our lotus pond, the degree to which we open ourselves up to the divine inflow, remember he cut the water off. The moment we open ourselves up to the divine inflow, we become in harmony with the highest and most beautiful life that we can create. But we have to be willing to open up to it. We have to be willing to say, you know what? I'm not going to let anything stop or block me. I know this seems like a challenge, not knowing how to fix a refrigerator, but guess what? I'm going to do it. And the moment you, or the right person that will help you do it will show up because you've absolutely declared it. So it's all done through our power of our thought, though, isn't it? It's all done through our mind. If you will allow intuition to speak to you and lead you, you will discover resolutions that you never thought possible. And I bet everybody in this room has a story of where you said, you know what, I was in a pickle about this, I could not figure it out, and guess what? It all worked out. It all worked out perfectly. Why did it work out perfectly? Because you allowed it to. You allowed it to. Melody Beatty, I don't know if anybody's ever heard of her, beautiful author. She's written in her book, it says, there's a time to get out of our heads and to quietly take the journey that our heart leads us to, following with the openness and wonder of a child. And she was using an example of sometimes, you know, we're so drilled down into what's going on with our daily life that we're really, you know, we're busy with what's happening in our personal life in that moment. But sometimes it's important to pull the camera back and see the big picture. And the moment we pull it back and see the big picture, and we realize the vastness of things, the expansiveness of things, and the potential for the expansiveness in ourselves, it absolutely connects with us. And we make an amazing discovery that we can do anything that we desire to do. I have this saying, I learned this thing the other day. You know how you say, oh, you're up to no good. You're up to no good. If somebody's doing something, you know that? You're up to no good. Change that word no. You're up to KNOW, good. You're up to no good. You can change that into a positive expression. I like that because when I was a kid, I was up, Mary, you're up to no good. I can see it. And now I can say, I'm up to no good and know it as joyful. You are already that which you want to be, but your refusal to believe it is the very reason that it doesn't show up. Did you ever think of that? You are already that which you want to be, and your refusal to believe it is the only reason it doesn't show up. The moment that we change our concept of ourself, our concept of our limitations, our concepts of what we can't do, and instead take it on and say, I can do anything. I can create this experience. And also, there's a thing that you won't need to be concerned about desiring something because you're going to know that it's already in mind. So the moment that you have it in mind, what it is that you're wanting to create in your experience, it will happen because, again, it starts with a thought and goes into form. It starts with a thought and goes into form. And the moment that we focus our thought on, it's already here. Whatever it is I desire, it's already here. I don't have to desire it because desiring it sometimes keeps it out there and we're still trying to reach for it. But the moment that we say, it's here now, and I affirm it, it's here now. There is a universal power that's available to us all the time, and it's dedicated to our use, it's dedicated to our thought, it's dedicated to our word. You don't have to pray to it, you don't have to ask for it, you don't have to plead for it, you just have to be present to it and open to it. Now I'd like you to look at your neighbor, look at someone around you and say, you, I'm over here, you are a divine design. You are a glorious example of life expressing. Oh, come on. Convince me. You are a glorious example of the divine design that you are. This is the truth. And so it is. All right, thank you. That's our talk for today. Thank you. Now, did you feel that down in your shoes? Okay. This is the time, pardon me, of the sharing of our treasure and our gift. So I invite you to take your gift in the palm of your hand and please affirm with me. Divine love consecrates my gift. It goes forth to heal, to prosper, and to bless all those who give and all those who receive. I rejoice in the sharing of my good, and I release my gift with love, and so it is. And now we're going to give it, Ruthie a little minute to do our collection, and we're going to get comfy, and we're going to do a little guided meditation. You ready for that? In case you haven't prepared your Easter baskets yet, we're going to do one today. All righty, so as we take a deep breath in, just allow that chair to support you as you just relax in and get comfortable. And know that as you breathe in that grounding breath from the very center of earth, you are centered and alert and spiritually awake and alive. And we're just going to take a little journey. And on this journey, I love to start out walking through a beautiful field of grass. And it's so lovely. And in the distance, we can see that beautiful lotus pond we talked about, that beautiful with trees, flowering shrub, flowers all around. You can hear the birdies, you can hear the bees and children laughing and playing. It's just this lovely, lovely meadow with this beautiful pond, large, with lotus flowers floating in it. And you walk up along the reservoir, the pond, and it takes you over to this little area, and you see this beautiful waterfall. But it's not a waterfall of water, it's a waterfall of golden white light. And there's this beautiful rocky outcropping, and the water comes from way up above. And so you decide to stand under it and just feel that glorious light spilling over you, enlivening and invigorating and lighting up your entire being. Wonderfully, you feel alert and alive and relaxed and renewed right from this beautiful light. And next you walk around to the side of this rock outcropping. And there's a beautiful little path that takes you in this beautiful way with trees that canopy over the path. And there's a lovely, lovely bench right there for you to sit and just be. And as you're sitting there, you watch as this beautiful being of light comes towards you. It looks very familiar, a wonderful light being coming towards you. And you feel all tingly and awake and enlightened. And this being has a beautiful Easter basket Oh, it's lovely. And the being says to you, I want you to reach into the basket. And I want you to take in what is it that you desire and picture an egg that you've picked up, and now open this egg. And the egg represents whatever it is that you are desiring to create in your experience right now. What is it? Is it a bill of clean health? Is it lots of prosperity? Is it a true love? Is it enlightened creativity? Is it new friendships? Is it a deeper sense of spiritual oneness? What is it? And then you look in the egg and there's an affirmation. Look at that affirmation. What is your affirmation? What does it say? What does it say to you? And sometime later when you go home, write down that affirmation that you see. You may not see anything. It's a little piece of paper. And if you don't see anything, be open and receptive today to whatever message you receive and say, there's my affirmation. There it is. Feeling that, take that image that you've pulled out of this egg, this newly birthed thing, and put it to your heart and hold it to your heart. And as you do so, just know that it absolutely is registered in the beautiful law of mind and is creating right here and now for you. Just breathe in. What does that feel like now? You have that thing that you want. You have it now. How do you feel? What does it mean to you? And just allow it to be a part of your being. And as you look at this divine being of light, they absolutely bestow upon you this real sense of certainty and peace of mind, and you feel in harmony with this being. And as the being stands to leave, just know that you can call on this image anytime that you want, because it's an aspect of your higher self, really, reminding you that all is possible. You can say, I'm possible. I'm up to no good. Nothing is too good to be true. Nothing is too good to be true. And so as you bid farewell to this beautiful being, you stand, and it's bringing you back into this room, and you walk by that lovely waterfall of light, and know that you can go and bathe in that light anytime you desire. And as you move through, you see this beautiful pond with the lotus flowers, and you hear the birdies. And you hear kids laughing and people having fun, and it feels so in harmony with everything that you are. And slowly but slowly, you make your way back through the meadow and into this room. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. Welcome back. Did you have fun? I like the shower part. I like that part. I pictured that in my shower this morning. So I said, that's perfect for our meditation today. So this is the time of prayer treatment. If anybody has a request for prayer, let me know and raise your hand. And everybody's full and free, and everybody has something going on. We've got David up here. Thank you. Here comes the microphone.
Hi, Reverend Mary.
Hi.
I'm soloing for Easter Sunday, and last time I soloed, I forgot to take a breath. And it didn't go so well. But during rehearsal was fine. Mm-hmm. You're a soloist. You're a great soloist.
Thank you.
Any advice for me? Breathe, right.
I think Beverly's advice of breathing would be good. You know what? I heard this today, this morning. I don't know what I was listening to. It was very early, and I was listening to something, and they said, you know what? Always when we're trying something new, there's always that sense of, oh my gosh, I'm going to blow it, or I don't know how to do it, or whatever. And somehow we work our way through it anyhow, and then the second we come out the other side of that, we go, that was a cinch. So maybe see yourself at the end of the solo in your mind going, wow, it went fantastic. It was wonderful. And then also remember to breathe and just relax into it and say, you know what? I'm singing my spirit. I'm just singing. And it's my expression of God. And just think of it like that. Because I think the only time we get choked up about anything at all, is because we think we're doing it by ourselves. You know, or we feel like, oh, everybody's going to judge me and it's not going to be a good thing. And you know what? I don't want to put this out there, but even if you blew it, everybody still loves you, right? So it doesn't matter. I mean, sometimes we get mud on our face, and you know what? It is what it is, but we're still us, you know? But I would go to the end and see it already accomplished, you know, in your mind, and see people going up, David, that was the best you ever sounded in your life. And make sure, everybody, to give them feedback after Sunday. That'll be cool. What song are you singing?
It's a song by Ricky Byers.
Oh.
I can't think of the name of it right now.
That's all right. It's an Easter song? Okay, whatever. Well, let's do how about we do a treatment?
Okay.
And what would you like the treatment for?
I like the treatment for resolution, success,
Okay.
confidence,
Okay.
and fun.
Okay, all righty. Okay. All right. Is there anybody else out there that wants resolution and fun and good things happening? Okay, so that's, yeah. I'd say that might be all of us. Okay, so let's take a deep breath in and let's know together, oh my goodness, there is this delicious spirit that loves me beyond comparison. And as I speak this word in the first person, I'm speaking it for everyone here in this room and on TV and beyond. And I am knowing that this power, this presence, this idea that I know as the creative mind of God is what I am a part of and what I am one with. I am a divine idea in the mind of God. And what that means is that I am God-powered. All the forces of the universe are at my disposal. And what I declare and what I claim and what I know for myself is true and happens because not of my own will, but of thine be done. That power, that presence, that knowing. And so I know. Whatever I undertake to do is done with grace and ease, with resolution, with confidence, with fun, with joy, and with wonderful results. I feel alive and invigorated and brought to life by creating the things that I want to create and knowing that they are supported by a power that truly loves me and wants only my best and highest good. I release from my consciousness anything that is unlike that truth, anything that stops or blocks my good from showing up, my joy from showing up, my confidence from showing up, my resolution from happening. I allow my good to be, and I welcome it in. And so I surrender over to Spirit anything that is unlike that truth. And I just breathe in and know that my best is always good enough. I am strong, I am confident, I am joyous, I am happy. I am fun to be with, and I am fun and having fun. And life loves me back at the very level that I love it. And so as I release this prayer into the law of mind, I know that it's done. And I know it with such gratitude, saying, thank you, God. Thank you for this awareness. Thank you for waking me up to my goodness and my power, and your goodness and your power. I let it be so, and together we say, and so it is. Okay, you're welcome. I'll watch the video. I won't be here, but I'll watch the video. It'll be fun. Okay. Anybody else? Yes, we've got one here.
I think I must have overdid it because I have this girlfriend from the 5th grade, and since she lost her husband a while ago, she's been traveling a lot. So she was traveling in this country, I can't remember which one, for the last couple weeks. But every time she goes, she either phones me or sends me a postcard, something. This time, nothing. And I kept thinking, oh, I wish she'd call. Oh, and then I turned it around and said, I know she's going to call today, being real positive about it. When the phone rang, and it was her on the phone. So she called, and so I must have.
So you sent a message out to her, and she picked it up vibrationally and said, I'll check in with my buddy so that she doesn't worry, right? Yeah, good, good. How many of you have ever had that experience where you think of someone and boom, they call you or they text you or something? It's because we're all connected. We are all connected. My sister and I do it all the time. I go, oh, she calls, I go, I was just going to call you. And she goes, I know, that's why I called. It's so fun. It's, this works. We got to not be so excited that it works. We got to absolutely go, oh, there we are. Yes, All right, so go out and make it a fabulous day. Have fun. Enjoy. Recognize you're divine by design. And so it is. Thank you. Thank you.